What's your name? Gentleman in the white top at the jail, what is your name?
Gary Berky.
You were charged with domestic violence assault. I'm going to order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. You are not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages, illegal drugs, and not possess any firearms or other weapons. You're also not to have contact of any kind with Letitia Berky. No contact means no face-to-face contact, no calling, texting, emailing, using third parties, letters or notes, social media, etc. And you're not to go to her home or workplace. If you have belongings there, you get a one-time return visit with a police escort to pick up your belongings. Bond is set at $1,000. Attorney Stan Fitzgerald is appointed to represent you. You're going to be seen tomorrow at 3:00 p.m. on video. Sorry to municipal court. You're excused.
Go ahead, come out. Let's take a seat. I was upset. I guess you go downstairs. Yeah.
Hello, what's your name?
Shan Williams.
Mr. Williams, you have cases in, it's like 3 different courts. Marana Municipal Court, you have an arrest warrant on charges of criminal trespass, possession of drug paraphernalia, refusal to provide your true name, and failure to appear. Pima County Justice Court, you were charged with criminal trespass and possession of drug paraphernalia. That was today. And then Tucson City Court, back on December 5th of last year, you were charged with reckless burning and you failed to appear in court, which is a separate criminal charge. And December 13th, you were charged with trespassing and you've got a failure to appear on that matter as well. So you appeared apparently on none of these cases in any of these courts. Why is that? Could you explain that to me?
I really don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah. My bad.
I would rather not hold you in custody on these kinds of charges. Will you promise to me that you will appear in court if I release you?
Yeah.
Okay. On your Miranda matter, your court date is February 26th at 10 a.m. On your Justice Court matter, that court date is March 5th at 8:30 a.m. And in Tucson City Court, your court date is February 27th at 2 p.m. You are not to go to any of the incident locations, don't possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and don't have any contact with alleged victims or return to the incident locations. If you do, these are 3 different courts, by the way. The addresses of each court will be on your paperwork. Make all 3 court dates. If you miss court again and get arrested on another warrant, the likelihood is that you will not be leaving the jail anytime soon. Okay, you're excused.
William. Other William. Going with other. Yep. Please.
Hello, what is your name?
My name is John Christian Williamson.
Okay. You were charged with domestic violence assault with injury, domestic violence. No, this is not with injury. Domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and under 21 liquor in the body. No order, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't commit any acts of domestic violence. No contact of any kind with Cooper Rogers, and stay away from that person's home and workplace.
Yes, sir.
I am going to release you from custody with those conditions. Your court date at Marana City Court is February 26th at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Excused.
Thank you very much, sir.
Go ahead and go out that door, go down the steps so you can see her. Epstein. Yes. Oh, yes, you're right there. Okay.
Hello, what's your name?
Matthew Epstein.
Okay. You were arrested today for illegally removing a shopping cart or possessing this shopping cart.
Yes, yes, sir.
You were charged back in August of 2022 with aggravated soliciting, and you failed to appear twice.
Yes,
Matter. You were charged back on October of 2022 with prescription only drug and drug paraphernalia, and you failed to appear on that matter.
yeah, I apologize for that, sir.
You were charged on November 23rd of 2022 with possession of drug paraphernalia, trespassing, and you failed to appear on that case.
Yes, sir.
December of 2022, criminal trespass, and you failed to appear on that case.
Yes, sir.
November 23rd, 2022, you were charged with possession of drug paraphernalia and criminal trespass, and you failed to appear. May of 2023, trespassing, failure to appear. And the last one is another shopping cart violation. This is from January of this year, and you failed to appear.
Yes, sir.
Indication that you did appear in court on any. I am setting bond in the amount of $250,
Oh, yes.
ordering no alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't go back to any of the locations.
That's all. Listen.
Can we keep the background noise muted, please? Thank you. And I'm appointing the Tucson City Public Defender to represent you if you're still in custody. Video review is February 11th at 1:45. If you are released prior to that by posting the bond, then out of custody date is March 3rd at 9 a.m. Tucson City Court. And you're excused.
Your Honor, this is, how much was this bond?
250.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, that's him.
Hello, what is your name?
My name's Amina Reed.
Ms. Reed, you have an arrest warrant out of Pima County Superior Court listing charges of aggravated assault, deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, and 2 counts of aggravated assault on a peace officer. Let's see, state is recommending that I hold you on a $10,000 bond. At a minimum, I'm going to order that you have no contact with the alleged victims. Stay away from the incident locations. No alcohol or illegal drugs and no firearms or other weapons. As to the matter of the bond request, which is actually twice what is listed on the warrant.
I'm sorry, hear from the state on the bond request.
No, I want to hear from defense counsel. That's you.
I'm sorry. It is. I just did not hear you, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, I would first note that this is a refiled matter. She had only been arrested once before, but the case was then dismissed. She is 38 years old and a lifelong resident, and she's unemployed, but she is living at a verified residence with her mother. Her attorney actually got in touch with me today, and I can provide the residence that she has been staying at. Her and her mother had no idea that she had court or that a warrant had been issued.
I went to court and he was my judge.
Okay, I'm sure he was. Your Honor, there's also some Rule 11 concerns. I think it is a priority for Mrs. Reed to be with her mother as this matter unfolds. So for those reasons, I am asking for a pretrial services release. Certainly nothing more if the court is imposing bond than what the warrant asks for. But again, since I have been speaking with her attorney, since I can provide the court with a verified address as to where her mail should go, I am asking for pretrial release.
All right, thank you. Let's hear from the state.
Your Honor, initially when Miss Reed was arrested, she was held on a $15,000 bond. The state didn't secure an indictment at that time. When Miss Reed failed to appear at the arraignment after the refile, a $5,000 warrant was issued. Your Honor, I think a $10,000 warrant is appropriate given the nature of the charges. If the court's not inclined to grant that bond, then we would be asking that the warrant amount of $5,000 be imposed.
Thank you. All right, I think 5,000 is appropriate. February 10th, 1:30 is your next court date. The legal defender is appointed to represent you. You're excused.
Stand up.
I want to
Your Honor, can you just provide me the preliminary, or excuse me, the arraignment date one more time?
That would be 10/1:30.
Okay.
So I have to. Excuse me, Your Honor, may I speak? Because I went to your court that day and you told me to come back on the 13th. I went to your,
There seems to be some.
I went to your, for you, you're trying to say I didn't come to your court. I was in the front of your courtroom and you had me sign some paperwork. They saying it was a fair to appear. I never jumped bail or anything. And then you told me to come back on February the 13th.
Talking about two different matters. I'm a judge at Tucson City Court. I'm not a Superior Court judge.
No, they said so when I bonded out on that, the judge said that the lawyer said that she was going to come talk to me. I waited and they said they was already dismissed. So when they said they was dismissed, what was I supposed to do? And then she told me that they were going to put them all together. they were gonna put them all together. So my court date came back. I have my paperwork. My mom does. She was supposed to be on court right now with me, and I have my paperwork with me that said that they put them all together, and I'll come to court on the 13th of this month. So they didn't say I jumped bond or anything because I paid the $500, and then they put the misdemeanors and the felonies together. That was $5,000.
These are matters.
Go ahead.
These are matters that you can talk over with your attorney. Okay?
Okay, so do I have to pay? I have to put another 5,000 up?
$5,000 bond, yes.
And I'll go to court again on the 10th of February.
February 10th at 1:30 with the legal defender. Okay?
Okay. Would I ever have a chance to go on pretrial if they ask?
I'll speak to her. Just 1 second.
Hello, what is your name?
Nina Gabriella Meyer. Hi, how are you?
Okay, so you've got a couple of matters. Felony charges are burglary, 2 counts of burglary in a 3rd degree, and possession of drug paraphernalia. It looks like you have a probation hold, so you will be held on that matter. The state's requesting a $2,500 bond on the felony matter, and then after we're done with this, you've got some misdemeanor cases. Let's hear from defense counsel.
Your Honor, given the adult probation hold and how difficult those are to lift, I am just asking for a low bond. I would ask for no more than $2,000.
Anything additional from the state?
Nothing additional, Your Honor.
$2,000 bond. Next court date is February 13th at 1:30. The public defender is appointed. No contact with the alleged victims. Don't go back to the incident location, and no alcohol or illegal drugs. The next matter is these are cases in Tucson City Court. You were charged back in January of last year with drug paraphernalia, and you got a warrant because you did not appear in court 6 of last year. And you were charged of last year with trespassing. Pretty much the same story. You didn't appear in August of last year. Trespassing, drug paraphernalia, false reporting from 2023. Failed to appear. You had an attorney. Apparently, keep in contact with him. You had a public defender. So why didn't you keep in touch with your public defender and appear in court?
Your Honor, I was homeless, and just from my experience, it's extremely hard to keep up on just getting myself fed every day, let alone court dates. So it wasn't intentional that I missed them, but I did.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna reappoint the city public defender to represent you. Previous conditions of release are still in effect. We'll note the other holds on the paperwork. And we're gonna give you a court date. non-transport, March 21st.
Uh, Oh my God.
Your excuse.
Sorry. Thank you.
Look, Juan.
Hello, what's your name?
Juan Rocha.
Mr. Rocha, you have felony and misdemeanor charges. Your felony charge is aggravated assault. We're gonna order no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or other weapons. Do not initiate contact with the alleged victim. And don't return to location of the alleged incident. The state's recommending a $2,500 bond. We'll hear from defense counsel.
Your Honor, I would note that Mr. Rocha is 30 years old and a lifelong resident, and he's currently homeless and unemployed. However, pretrial services was able to get in touch with his mother, who has indicated that she can take him in and take third-party custody of him and bring him to his court dates. I would also note that pretrial services, that there are mentioned, that there are some mental health concerns. And so for those reasons, I'm asking for pretrial release because I do think it's in his best interest that he is with his mother. It seems that he has one prior from 2020. So for those reasons, I'm just asking for pretrial release, or if the court is inclined to impose a bond, just no more than $2,000.
Thank you. We'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, given Mr. Rocha's risk assessment score, 6 out of 6 on the NCA scale, 6 out of 6 on the FDA scale,
You know,
his prior.
your voice is kind of muted, so I can't, I'm not understanding what you're telling me. Maybe if you get closer to the mic, I don't know.
My apologies, Your Honor. Can you hear me now?
A little better, yes.
Okay. Your Honor, based on the risk assessment scores, Mr. Rocha's past criminal history and the nature of the offense, I believe a $2,500 bond is appropriate.
Okay, thank you. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. February 13th, 1:30 is your next court date. Excuse me, the public defender represents you on that matter. You've got some cases in Tucson City Court. You were cited for drug paraphernalia possession and trespassing. That was today. You were cited back in May of 2024 with shoplifting, and you failed to appear. You had a court date in January of 16th of this year. What is this? Oh, you've got a excuse me. So you were cited back in December of last year with drug paraphernalia and trespassing. You failed to appear on that matter. twice. Drug paraphernalia from December and failure to appear twice on that case. Or once on that case, sorry. April of last year, shoplifting and failure to appear. At least 3 times on that case. Undealt the felony hold. I'm gonna release you on the misdemeanor cases. Previous conditions of release still apply. And we'll set a non-transport review for March 21st. 9 o'clock. City public defender is appointed, so they'll be in court for you. And it's gonna be in front of folks. Okay, March 21st, 9 a.m. Tucson City Court, you're excused.
What's done? What's done? Santa Maria, yo no Santa Maria.
Hello.
Hello. How do you
I'm sorry, say again?
How do you do it, Your Honor? How do you do it?
He's asking for your name.
What?
Your name.
Angel Ortega Santa Maria.
Thank you. All right. Got both felony and misdemeanor charges, sir. Felony charges are possession of a dangerous drug and use of or possessed with the intent to use paraphernalia. The state's recommending $1,500 bond along with smart court order, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or other weapons, and that you not go back to the incident location. And they're also recommending smart court will schedule you into that. After the matter of the bond, let's hear from the defense counsel.
Your Honor, I'm asking for pretrial release given the nature of the offense. It is, charged as personal possession. And I would note that he is 39 and a lifelong resident. He is employed full-time and he lives alone, which might make it difficult for him to get help in posting a bond if imposed. He also expressed to the pretrial services that he is experiencing some mental health concerns. He does not have a lengthy record and it does not appear that his activity is escalating. So for those reasons, I am asking the court to consider pretrial release. If the court is to impose a bond, I would ask for no more than $1,000.
All right, we'll hear from the prosecution.
Your Honor, I think given the nature of Mr. Santa Maria's prior convictions, I have concerns about release. He is also the maximum risk category according to pretrial. So for those reasons, I believe a bond is appropriate.
Thank you. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. Smart court date is February 10th at 9 o'clock. Waive time for the prelim.
Your Honor, if he's remaining in custody, I think we still set it for within the 10 days.
February 13th at 1:30, and the public defender is appointed. You've got misdemeanors in Tucson City Court. Criminal trespass and obstructing a thoroughfare. This is from December of last year. This is and you failed to appear on that matter. You were charged from March of last year with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and 2 counts of trespassing. And you failed to appear on this case. And you were charged in April of last year with trespassing and failure to appear. Bond on the misdemeanor cases is set $100. The city public defender is appointed. We'll be returning this to mental health court. Video review is February 10th. Is that a mental health date? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. February 10th. 1:45. And if you are out of custody, March 4th at 9:30, Tucson City Court. You're excused.
Out there. And Your Honor, before we call the next case, it's my understanding that Mr. Wallach, I might be mispronouncing that, is refusing to be seen tonight, so we're asking to continue him into the morning.
Take care of that. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Wall, be seen. I'll talk to you. What's your name, ma'am?
Melinda Watson.
Ms. Watson, you're charged for possession of dangerous drug meth. States recommend a smart court as well as a $2,000 bond in lieu of no bond. We'll hear from defense counsel.
Your Honor, I had an opportunity to speak with Mrs. Watson just briefly regarding the state's ask for a bond versus invoking no bond. So we are okay with just a low bond. Mrs. Watson understands, and I am going to also explain to her the smart court hearing and her potential eligibility.
On is 2,000. Smart court is February 10th, 9 o'clock. Preliminary hearing is February 13th at 1:30. The legal defender is appointed and do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs or go back to the incident location. And that should do it. You're excused.
Somebody give you
All right. Thank you, folks. Have a good evening.